The haunted hospital in GTA 4 has an insane amount of lore. In real life, this ruin of a building holds two major titles, one of the most important buildings in New York, and also one of the most haunted buildings. In this video, I'm going to give you the entire history of this abandoned hospital, and then we're going to take a look at the myths that surround this location in GTA 4, because I now know where the whole ghost story originated. But firstly, we need to know why the hell this old building is so important. So we already know that this dump on Colony Island was an old hospital, but it wasn't just any old hospital. It's completely based on the real-life ruin of Renwick Hospital on Roosevelt Island. Now, Renwick Hospital has been a ruin since the 1950s and it still stands to this day. And there's a very good reason for that, because this hospital was a huge part of the nation's history. It was originally built as a smallpox hospital in 1856. This was the first hospital in the entire nation dedicated to smallpox. And this is also the same reason why it's located on Roosevelt Island. They built this hospital on an island so that they could easily segregate the people who had smallpox from the general public. Now, for those of you who don't know much about smallpox, here's a brief history lesson on it. Smallpox had been around for thousands of years, but it became a major global threat by the 18th century. It was a highly contagious disease that would either kill you or leave you permanently disfigured. In the 20th century alone, it was estimated to have killed around 300 million people, and around 500 million people in the last 100 years of its existence. So smallpox was one hell of a deadly disease. But I am speaking in past tense, and that is because smallpox was completely eradicated without a single death since 1978. This makes smallpox the only human disease to be completely eradicated to this day. But the Renwick Hospital, specifically for smallpox, closed in 1875. It was then reopened as a nurses' school, and by the 1950s the hospital was fully abandoned. So Renwick Hospital fell into ruin and started to be used as a drug den. Some of these people using it as a drug den started a fire in this abandoned building in the 1980s and completely gutted it. And that's exactly how it remained, as a ruined, burnt down hospital, which is what we know it as in GTA 4. In current day, the Renwick building does still stand, but it's now completely fenced off as the structure is unstable. The outside does still look similar to how it does in GTA 4, but the inside is now covered in scaffolding and ladders. It's no longer a drug den, and the closest you're able to get to it is the outside perimeter fence. But obviously when this game released in 2008, the fence around the building wasn't good enough to stop anybody from entering. So now you know the entire backstory to this abandoned hospital, and now we're going to go into the interesting myths surrounding it in GTA 4. So this hospital doesn't serve much of a purpose in the regular story mode. Only one story mission takes place here, and that mission is called the Snowstorm. In this mission, we have to go and steal a bag of coke from inside the ruin. During this mission, and this mission only, the ruin is being used as a gang hideout. We have to kill our way to the bag of coke. Once we get our hands on the bag, the SWAT team turns up, and we have to kill our way out of there. So this mission revolves around killing people. This mission can be done at any time of day or night, which is why there's a bunch of lights scattered throughout the ruin connected to a generator. They exist so if you decide to do this mission during the night, you can actually see. This tells us that their main focus while setting up this location was the mission Snowstorm. But regardless of that, this mission is where all of the strange sightings began. In 2008, shortly after this game released, a player claimed that something strange happened to him during this mission. He claimed to have seen a strange shadow moving through this ruin that wasn't connected to any NPC, just a shadow moving through the old hospital. Of course, there was no video evidence of this because this was 2008 and you didn't need video evidence for people to believe you. But regardless, this one claim set everybody's eyes on this abandoned hospital. And then the amount of different sightings started to spiral. These sightings consisted of footsteps, a woman laughing, a shadowy figure, and barrels exploding by themselves. This led people to believe that a ghost was responsible for all of these strange occurrences. We then had a bunch of videos appear on YouTube of people investigating the abandoned hospital, but no solid evidence of a ghost was ever found. And that's because all of these sightings that were reported were misunderstood. For example, the footsteps that could be heard and some of the strange sightings simply came from the homeless people that can spawn in this ruin and walk around. They don't always spawn here, but as you can see in my footage, I managed to make one spawn. I'll admit this was a bit of a strange encounter. The way she is sitting does look like she's a bit glitched. It's strange, but I wouldn't say it's because of a ghost. Also, you need to bear in mind that I'm running this game on high settings and I still encounter glitches. If you're playing this game on low settings or even just playing the original version of GTA 4 on consoles, you are going to see strange glitches in the distance. So the fact that NPCs spawn during that one mission and during free mode doesn't help the idea of a ghost. Next we have the barrels that would randomly roll and explode without anybody being near them. And this is in fact real. But it wasn't caused by a ghost. This was actually a fairly well-known bug in the game. It would happen in multiple different locations, not just the abandoned hospital, and it was basically where some items would spawn on an incline, meaning they were placed on a part of the map that wasn't flat. So because of this, they would tilt, fall over, and roll into a corner, causing them to explode.
Nico, how are you finding things? Have you got enough to do here in Liberty City?
Yeah, I think I've got enough on my plate at the moment, Roman.
So most of these strange occurrences can either be explained by NPCs or typical bugs. But the actual idea of a ghost being in this abandoned hospital came from real life. And that's why I started the video by telling you the history of this building. But what I didn't tell you was that almost 14,000 people died in this building. And when a lot of people die in the same location, that location always gains a reputation of being haunted. And like I said in the first 10 seconds of this video, one of the titles this building holds is one of the most haunted buildings in New York. Now, regardless of what your belief in ghosts is, this helps us piece together what happened here with GTA 4. The real-life rumor of a ghost in this location was brought into a video game. Somebody realized what this building was and started a somewhat believable rumor. And then this rumor was heavily fueled by all of the glitches that came after, like the barrels, the NPCs, and the lights. All things that can actually be explained. So there was never a ghost in this location, it was simply misunderstood misinformation. The hype around ghosts in GTA 4 was likely what inspired the ghost of Mount Gordo. I'm willing to say that that's the reason that Rockstar even thought about adding a ghost. We've seen it happen before with the Sasquatch in GTA San Andreas, so even though this myth is fake, I'm still willing to say it's very important. Now, if you did enjoy this video or learned something new, drop a like on it, because every single like helps me out an incredible amount. If you have a certain myth you want me to cover, put it in the comments, subscribe, and have a good day.